The second tip is that in the introduction, greet the audience, grab their attention, and state the purpose in brief. Begin the introduction by greeting the audience. Your greetings will depend on who your audience is. Make sure to greet according to the protocol. Usually, a special interview, for instance, a chief guest is greeted first, followed by the immediate authority, and so on. Since this speech is to be delivered in the neighborhood, begin with a suitable greeting such as respected neighbors and my dear friends. Introduction can be written in variety of ways. Example, you could refer incidents from everyday life. Observe how this speech opens with the narration of a personal experience, parks, beaches, railway station, roads, etc., wherein we go the ugly side of the discarded polythene bags greets our eyes. Recently, I went swimming in the Arabian Sea, and what did I find there? My feet getting entangled in a plastic bags. Another interesting way to start an introduction is to use a description of the cartoon. Here's an example. I recently came across a cartoon in newspaper. A petrified earth was burdened under heaps of plastic bags. Monstrous plastic bags formed arms that were choking the planet. The cartoon may have appeared funny, but it reflected the truth. Our planet is dying a slow death every day. You could also use a news report in your introduction. For example, in this speech, you can use a news report on a dead whale. Recently, a dead whale was found floating in a city harbor. Do you know what caused its death? Well, the whale died because its stomach was clogged with plastic bags. What a terrible way to die. Once you have got the attention of the audience, state the purpose or the main message you wish to deliver in your speech. For example, here the main message is about the harmful effect of the plastic bags on the planets and animal life. Finally, state the topic emphatically, which is the necessity of the discontinuing the use of plastic bags. Here is your complete introduction. The next tip is state your main ideas effectively. Expand the points listed in the outline to form the body of the speech. Observe how each point have been developed. Let's read through the body of the speech. Plastic bags are cheap, convenient, easily available, but they are harmful to our environment. These bags are non-biodegradable. They take hundreds of years to reduce soil fertility and even pollutes our seas. How can we stand by silently and watch our planet getting destroyed? Let's put into practice these 3 R's, that is reduce, reuse, and refuse. Reduce the number of bags you use. Reuse these bags when you go shopping. Refuse new plastic bags. If you stop accepting new plastic bags, you send a message that they are no longer wanted. Note how this paragraph appears logically by stating the facts. At the same time, emotional language is used to appeal to the listeners. The next tip is that reinforce the core message in the conclusion. The key to ensuring that your speech will be remembered is to end it powerfully. Let's see how the conclusion for this speech has been elaborated. Say no to plastic. Make the 3 R's, that is reduce, reuse, and refuse, your mantra. From this movement, pledge to reduce, refuse, and reuse plastic bags. Observe how the core message is being reinforced. Also notice how the phrase reduce, reuse, and refuse has been repeated to reinforce the solution. Most importantly, do not forget to thank your audiences at the end of your speech. The next tip is that use appropriate strategies to make the speech effective. Remember, the audience wants to hear something new, so make your speech unique and interesting. One way to make your speech interesting is to use relevant examples. Examples add credibility, and credibility creates an impact on the minds of the audiences. For instance, here a real life example of a dead whale is used in the introduction. This gives a dramatic opening to the speech and captures the audience's attentions. Another way to make your speech interesting is to use a catchy or impactful phrase or a sentence. For example, the phrase 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and refuse, is an effective way to deliver the message and is likely to remember by the audiences. You can also ask rhetorical questions for emphasis. Note how this rhetorical questions appeals to the emotions and emphasizes the need for action. To make your speech more powerful, use striking adjectives and adverbs. Consider the following two sentences. Without adjective, they read as what a way to die. Discontinuing the use of these bags is the need of the hour. Now let's read by adding the adjectives. What a terrible way to die. Discontinuing the use of this toxic bags, the need of the hour. Don't you think that both these sentences have a greater impact now? But be careful not to use too many adjectives or adverbs in your speech. Finally, repetition can also be effective. Notice how the words reduce, reuse, and refuse have been repeated thrice in this speech. Repeating the keywords in a clever way reinforces your message and helps the audiences recall the main message of the speech. And the last tip for writing a speech is that proofread and simplify your speech. After you have prepared and written a good speech, don't let unnoticed errors ruin the hard work. Read your speech again, correct grammatical errors, and rectify spelling errors. Always simplify your speech by deleting the words which have the same meaning. And if your question has a word limit, then stay within it. Here is your complete speech on the question asked about an environment day function is to be held in your neighborhood. You have been asked to deliver a speech, write a speech persuading people to stop using plastic bags. So, hope you understood how to write a speech. Thank you.